time your live video weather blog so we can keep you updated as to what's going on in and around the Tennessee River Valley. I'm on all these social media networks, so you can check out those if you want to. We'll take a look at the tropics in just a little bit and give you an idea as to what's going on with the forecast for tonight. Currently from the Chattanooga Zoo webcam on the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam network, it's very quiet. A little bit of traffic on Holtzclaw Avenue. Traffic moving along on I-24 on the ridge, so not seeing a problem here at this point. We do have, again, a lot of haze out there. If it looks a little bit on the smoky side, that's because it pretty much is at this point. So we do have, again, a lot of haze sticking around into and around the area. So we do see, again, the potential for that smoke continuing out there. And that is just all over the place. It gave us a very colorful sunset, both on the Bailey's Heating and Air camera and with Lookout Mountain off there in the distance on the Plainview Outdoor Advertising camera. We've got, again, you can see in the street lights, the Chattanooga Airport lights looking back toward around downtown and off into and around portions of south central Hamilton County. We do have all that haze sticking around, and we'll continue to see that until the pattern changes, and that's going to be a little bit before that actually happens. Chattanooga Theater Center, brilliant sunset tonight. If you have a chance to take a look at our social media pages, we passed along some of those pictures there. High 60s, winds light out of the southeast, dew point temperatures up, but not as much as it could be when it comes to anything in the way of very humid conditions out there. For the dog walking forecast, thanks to Chip. I know Chip is the name of the dog, but also Chip was the name of the sender from Epworth, Georgia. So thank you very much, Chip, for a view of Chip with a bat costume on, a bat beagle, as it were. Into tomorrow morning, we're going to be seeing temperatures back into the lower 60s, so quite mild, very comfortable. The clouds will be sticking around tomorrow as well, so something to watch out for if you're going to be out and about into tomorrow morning very early. So for the almanac page, we did manage to, again, get rather up there on the temperatures, but we did not make the 80s. 9 degrees away from a record high temperature, but close enough, again, right there. We only managed to pick up 1400s. For us to make up our rainfall deficit for the month, we would have to get 3 inches plus in the next 48 hours, somewhere in there, right on through Halloween. So just about that time frame. For us to make up for the yearly deficit, this is where it really gets interesting, because we've got approximately 9 weeks left for the year, give or take, somewhere in there. And as of right now, we would have to make an inch plus per week throughout the rest of the year to get us to where we need to be even just for the year. So this is turning out to be another very dry year for the Tennessee River Valley. October is typically one of the driest months of the year for Chattanooga, and obviously that's living up to its reputation right here. So we do not see anything in the way of huge amounts of rainfall. We do have some scattered showers possible as we go into the next few days. We'll talk about that coming up here in just a little bit. Right now, again, temperatures in the area quite pleasant. A few 40s starting to show up around parts of western North Carolina, as well as some 50s into southeast Tennessee and Cherokee County, North Carolina, the News 12 viewing area. This is the News 12 viewing area here again. North central, northwest Georgia, northeastern Alabama, DeKalb and Jackson counties, southeastern Tennessee. That, again, is where the News 12 signal goes to, and our what's called our dominant market area, DMA. Again, that's the temperatures for right now. We saw a lot more warmer weather well back on over to our west, and temperatures tonight are still back into the mid-70s somewhere in there. So we've got some very toasty numbers here, and that's going to affect our weather. What we are, for the temperatures at least anyway, high pressure is doing a very good job of keeping things very calm and quiet. You can see that dome of high pressure sitting right back over portions of the Great Lakes, the East Coast, and right around on parts of the southern Appalachians. So what we're going to be looking at is, again, this area. You can see where the winds are kind of turning clockwise here. That is that big dome of high pressure going on. So in the next couple of days, we are going to watch and see this particular system. The high pressure area is again circulating the moisture onshore from the Gulf and the Caribbean up into the Great Lakes. So that's where this moisture is coming from. And that also, what you're looking at here, these clouds, some of these showers right over the Great Lakes to the northern plain states. This was a Category 5 hurricane about a week or so ago. These are the remnants of what was Hurricane Christy that became a maximum Category 5 hurricane about 7 days ago. Some snow across the Rockies into the Dakotas, very cold air mixing in with some of that moisture, so a lot more wintry weather out this direction. Now this front is trying to make its way our way, but with high pressure sitting in its way, acting as a big stop sign. If this area of high pressure wasn't here, this front probably would have been through the area by now. It's not, because high pressure is kind of backing things up. The last couple of days, it looked like this system was going to be quicker to move on through. Now that happened, and it arrived on Thursday night. It would be a good possibility of showers and thunderstorms for the trick-or-treaters. Right now, I think timing things out at this time, and let's just go ahead and forward on the maps to about that time frame. Thursday morning, the front is just to our west with, again, limited moisture, so some scattered showers and maybe some thunderstorms there. As we go toward dismissal time for the kids at school, still in the clear, lots of clouds out there and more chances of rain closer to the front. Trick-or-treat time, 7, 8, 9 o'clock on Thursday. Numbers back in the high 60s. To around the lower 70s. So, excuse me, we do have some chances of showers getting close to us. I just don't see them affecting trick-or-treat time, and we all know how uncool it is for Darth Vader or Tinkerbell to have to carry an umbrella with the costume, so not going to be happening there. Rain chances start to move in. That front really gets hesitant about moving east, and by News 12 Friday morning at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., we see those chances of showers again on the way, but most of what we're going to be looking for is to be moving through the rest of the morning, and then as we go into the afternoon, it looks like our chances of rain will be going away. So there will be chances of rain early Friday morning through early Friday afternoon, and then that should be it, which means Friday night football, if everything works and this front gets far enough south, that means we should be looking at some nicer conditions out there and should not be any rain. Probably some clouds for Friday night football, but beyond that, we're just not really looking at too much of anything going on there. So that's good news at the very least. But for right now, the temperatures are going to be pleasant, very much above normal again, so we don't see a lot of very good conditions for frost or anything else. And the temperature outlook for the next several days shows above normal chances of some very warm weather, according to the Climate Prediction Center, going into the first week of November, somewhere in there, and that trend will continue all the way through about the end of the year. How about anything in the tropics? Any possible problems there going on? Right now, no. The Atlantic is quiet. The conditions right now not conducive to develop anything. There's some pretty good cloud cover and a couple of waves of energy out there, but not really expected to amount to much. We told you about this last week, and it's finally starting to kind of come together at least a little bit. So what we're looking at for right now, let me just verify that the Hurricane Center has not upped this. No, it's still the same. So this area here, Puerto Rico, south to Jamaica, south of Cuba, that is where we may see the development of something going on. According to the National Hurricane Center, a broad area of low pressure likely to develop over the southwestern Caribbean in the next couple of days. Gradual development is possible thereafter, and a tropical depression could form over the west central Caribbean Sea. So that, again, is going to be the potential of this system here coming into view, and that is where we could look at some problems here in the western Caribbean. So for right now, that is where We might see a new system developing, but for right now, there's nothing organized. And for all those Category 6 blaring websites out there, we do not see anything in the way of a new storm system developing yet. Maybe something by the weekend, maybe something by early next week, but there is nothing organized at this point in time. Please use caution with where you get your weather information from, because unfortunately there's a lot of places out there that will scream bloody murder about what may happen with the weather, and then when that doesn't come to fruition, you don't hear from them ever again saying, oh, well, we were wrong about that Category 6. And yes, I know there is no such thing as a Category 6. I'm just using that as an example to illustrate the idea that we really need to watch where you get your weather information from. Now, speaking of that, we'll talk about debunking weather misinformation here in just a little bit. But let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on with our forecast. Island Cove, Sylvester the Spider hovering around the camera lens, doing his part or her part to make certain that everything is a little bit less mosquito-y across Lake Chickamauga. The forecast, we got a lot going on, even if the weather is relatively quiet. Will be pretty warm going into Halloween, so temperatures about the time the trick-or-treaters take off will be probably shirt sleeve weather for mom, dad, or the adults going along with the trick-or-treaters. We'll cool off a little bit as we go into Friday, and that'll be our best chance of rain. As that system gets close to us in the next couple of days, we will see some breezy conditions out there, not wind advisory territory of 40 miles per hour plus, but we will see some winds elevated, so golf course weather, you might get some hooks or some slices going on there. And for trick-or-treating, I think it may be breezy, but I also think we're not going to be seeing any rainfall out there. Very mild. We'll bounce back on the temperatures very easily into the weekend. Don't forget that this weekend is where you turn the clocks back 1 hour. The weekend morning show anchor's favorite time of the year, where you get that extra hour to sleep in. And spring forward, coming up in March, where you lose an hour of sleep. Morning show, not the best time to be losing an hour of sleep there. So don't forget about that. Next week, as we go toward Election Day, not a problem. There will be more clouds, and there will be a chance of showers and maybe even a rumble of thunder out there as we go toward the evening hours. We're looking at pushing at about maybe 20-25%, somewhere in there as we go toward Election Day, but it looks like that's going to be in the evening, and that looks like we will see, again, the minimal chance of anything. So that'll be about the time the polls close, and Election Day and the election cycle will be blissfully over with at that point in time. Very mild temperatures. Again, we should be in the upper 60s at this time of the year. We're going to be solidly in the high 70s to lower 80s, with, again, one or two exceptions along the way. So we do see some chances of rain. We're not going to make up the deficit. This is going to be a very dry October, and outside of these chances of rainfall, there's really little, if anything, taking place anytime soon. So, again, looking good for Election Day and for trick-or-treating and for the time change. So not really seeing too much of any major concerns where the weather is seen for right now. So definitely some good news on that. All right, speaking about weather information, NOAA has put out with the alarming upswing in the amount of weather misinformation a la flat earth territory, where a lot of people say, oh, the earth is flat. You just aren't seeing the results as I'm seeing them, etc. There's a lot of stupid, absolutely idiotic bourgeois out there in regards to what can happen. And whoever's making this stuff up, whether you truly believe it or whether you're just poking a stick in the anthill, you really need to quit. It's not helping anybody. Find some other way to get your entertainment if that's what you're doing, because if you put that stuff out there, it's just you don't have any proof whatsoever, and anybody who's confused about things, who doesn't want to raise their hand and ask a question to say, is this actually true, for fear of getting jibed or derided or anything else, that's not helping either. So again, if you're not helping to make things clearer and easier for people to understand, and you're just out there making up junk that is just confusing people, you really need to find a better hobby more than anything else. Maybe turn off the computer and go read a few dozen books rather than get online and agitate people. As for anybody else who is making up this information because you heard somebody say this, or because this is what that site said about this site, or your uncle's cousin's mother's barber's lawyer's nephew said this according to what you heard from someplace, this is just absolutely just excrement type territory. NEXRAD Doppler radar, the claim, is being used to steer hurricanes and target specific communities of the opposite political side of the fence. Doppler radar, like my voice, sending energy waves out that are being picked up by these microphones and being translated to electrical impulses, which are then traveling along the internet to your speakers. It's just energy going out, and it's also bouncing off the screens, the cabinets, the desktop in front of me. It's energy waves, and that's all that these energy waves from Doppler radar can do. They have no power to move anything, least of all a hurricane, which if you melted down the hurricane into just raw electrical energy, you could power Chattanooga very easily for 6 months on the amount of energy that's out there. But you're talking about thousands, millions of tons of water in motion in the atmosphere. Doppler radar does not do that. And again, whoever's making this stuff up, I can't even give you an E for effort on this, because this is just totally stupid to be able to put this stuff out there. When energy, again, is able to move something, it is possible with a static electric field to use energy to move some things. But for NEXRAD Doppler radar to be able to move a hurricane, maybe in a bad sci-fi movie that you might see on Mystery Science Theater 3000, not in real life. It does not happen, period, end of sentence. And for those of you who are going to say, oh, you're a tool of the government, you're a tool of the man, you work for them, if you have an argument to present to me, there's the email address right there. So if you'd like to send it to me, go right ahead. Can't guarantee I'll respond, because I don't, with a lot of scientists these days are done trying to convince people who are sticking their fingers in their ears about climate change. There's no point talking to a brick wall. Literally or figuratively, you're not going to change that brick wall's mind. So after a certain period of time, we can present the information out there as scientific fact, and then if you want to go off and go tell your bank that 1 + 1 = 5.5, and that means your bank account should have more money in it, good luck to you. I would love to see how that conversation winds up, because I don't think it would actually work too well, and neither does this. So again, please check out what is going on. You can find out information from NOAA. For those of you who want to cancel NOAA, think again about what you're proposing, because not any private forecasting firm that you think that the leaders of a project want to replace NOAA with, not one private agency is going to be able to do what NOAA does if NOAA gets canceled. And that is one of the most backwards, stupid ideas I've ever heard in my entire life. So NOAA does more than just talk about climate change. And this is one example of putting out information like this so everybody out there doesn't get confused and start passing along more flat earth nonsense. So again, please keep in mind this information. You want to know more, go to NOAA's website at noaa.gov, or go to our website to find out more details. Now, the best time to get ready for severe weather, another good example of what NOAA does, is train the public when it comes to severe weather. Now, there have been no in-person meetings for the fall semester. We are covered over by 4 National Weather Service offices here in the News 12 viewing area. Not one of them have had anything in the way of any organized, scheduled, Skywarn meetings taking place. It would be nice if they did, but here's a good solution, that if you would like to take the Skywarn course whenever you want to, all you have to do is just go online and take the course available. It's at their website, weather.gov/MRX. Again, that's National Weather Service Morristown in Morristown, Tennessee. Or you can go to our website, WDEF.com/weather. Scroll down beneath the forecast for more. And again, all you have to do to find out more about what NOAA does is to go to their website and take a look at everything that goes down there. Take the Skywarn class, pass the final exam, register with your National Weather Service office. The more Skywarn spotters we have out there, the better protected we are all going to be by having the eyes, ears, and brains of the National Weather Service, Skywarn spotters out in the community, keeping a close eye on what's going on. So please register as a Skywarn spotter. That will help out rather a lot. Weather 101, the last storm season class, or weather class, I should say, was this morning at 10 a.m. for Tuesday. The one coming up for tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., weather observations in 3D. That's from the National Weather Service Nashville. It's an online webinar type situation. You have to use GoToMeeting to be able to attend, and if you want to ask questions, you have to have a microphone available from your system. That'll be again tomorrow, the second to last day of October at 10 o'clock in the morning online. Thank you very much, National Weather Service of Nashville, for putting on these Weather 101 weather education classes. Excuse me, very good opportunity. Excuse me again for a second. I'm sorry, but my voice has just been having issues with the pollen and the smoke and everything else going on. While we're at it, again, another good thing that NOAA does, public relations. The open house at National Weather Service Morristown was canceled a few weeks ago with the arrival of Helene, and National Weather Service Morristown had to make certain that they were ready to go with damage reports and covering a lot of what happened with Helene. The open house has been rescheduled Saturday, November 2nd. That is coming up this next weekend, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., weather.gov/MRX, if you'd like to join up there. Or you can find out more at our website, wdef.com/weather. You get to see so much at this that it's an open house from the National Weather Service is very rare. So if you have not had the chance to open the doors of the National Weather Service and see what goes on inside, here's your opportunity to find out more about what NOAA does. So please consider this. And again, that's this coming Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., a great opportunity again to learn more there. All right, excuse me again. Our friendinroofing.com weather poll of the day. Is it possible to buy a National Weather Service all hazards alert radio from directly the National Weather Service? True or false? Well, 54% of you said true. The actual answer is false. You cannot buy anything from directly the National Weather Service. That's our friendinroofing.com weather poll of the day. The really neat thing is that you can get, and again, from the National Weather Service directly at weather.gov/NWR. You can find out more, or just NWR about, where is it? NWR, National Weather Service Radio. They have a page where to buy a NOAA weather radio receiver under the NWR Consumer Information page, and a good opportunity again to see more about where you can buy something for your house, something for your business, something for your school, anything like that. The National Weather Service, again, does not endorse a specific model or make of receiver, and that's up to you, the consumer, to be able to get that taken care of. So great opportunities to find out more, and you can find out a whole bunch, again, through the National Weather Service online at weather.gov if you'd like to know more about that there. Thank you very much to News 12 viewer Deborah Dyer from Murphy, North Carolina, for a beautiful view of the pink and purple northern lights from western North Carolina a few weeks ago as that last burst of solar energy slammed into our planet. That's our Langley Roofing weather window picture of the day. If you've got pictures, we'd love to see them, so go ahead and send them on to us at pictures@wdef.com. Drop them to our social media pages, or go to our website, wdef.com/photos, to find out more and to get more details as to what is going on in regards to our page. You can also see what everybody else has been submitting for the weather window picture of the day at our website, so please stop by and check out more details on that if you would be so kind. All right, I think that's going to do it. We've wrapped things up pretty well within about a half an hour's time frame, so we'll go ahead and throw it back to your normal Tuesday evening to give you an idea as to what's going on. I'll have more on the forecast coming up tonight on News 12 at 11, so definitely want to stay tuned for that. And, of course, Chip Chapman will have more on the forecast coming up bright and early Wednesday morning, peak of the week, starting at 5 a.m., so definitely want to stay tuned again for more on that as Chip gives you an idea as to what's happening out there. Thanks for joining us for Wednesday night. Again, questions, concerns, ideas, complaints, if you must, aonic@wdef.com. Our website down beneath at the bottom of the screen, wdef.com/weather for more information. Thanks for joining us on Tuesday night, and we'll see you again coming up on Wednesday.